Hello, hello everyone. So here we want to animate a round circle. That's on Blender. So before you do any animation, the first thing you're supposed to check first is look for a reference online. Go to YouTube, go to Google, check everything, try to find the relevant references online. So for us now, the reference we're going to be making use of today is this one. So you can actually get this one, just get anyone you want, then you follow it. So this the reference we're going to make use of. It's on 6 raw. That means uh, we'll be doing our own. We'll be animating it on our own frames, in which we actually animate on nine. That's on 9. Actually, that will be 10 frames. So that means when you're animating on 6, the first one will be on the first frame. That's your contact will be on the first frame, and the same contact will be on the seventh frame. That's if you're animating on 6. So if on 10, if on 9, that means the first one on the first frame, and the that's the 10th one. That's the 10th one will be the same as this. That's if you're animating on 9. So try to get this reference. So on getting it, you can open your Blender, then maybe press your front view, then you get out of object mode, then you go to add, and you go to image and reference. Then you go to it on my desktop. Then we try to locate it. So this is the name I saved it with. So this reference we'll be making use of. With this now, you can, if you like, you can press S. You can scale it down so to cover screen space. So then, for it not to block us, we can actually move it back a little bit. So I would like to rotate it in this direction. That's check your R, that's minus 90. That's minus 90. You can see it on our that's on our transform. So minus 90, then we'll move it back. So on doing that, the first contact we'll be animating is the leg. So we just go back to our post mode. So we want to make sure our first contact frame is like this first one. So I would recommend, before you actually try to learn how to do a run circle, work on your work circle very well in such a that you can actually perfect it somehow. So for this one, we'll move our leg, then the hip, we'll move it down as a little bit. For us to follow this, press 1. Sorry, that's press 3. Or that's Control 3. So for us to follow this, looking at this reference now, we can see that press N, T, using our annotation tool, we can notice this head here. It's high on the contour, then on the down, it's lower, then high again, then high, then higher. And I think this one should be higher also. Then going back to the contact again. So I also check the head, that's the up and down, the Y translation. Then check the hips translation also. You can see this is moving down, then up, then up, then up, then up, then going back down. That's what the leg is doing. And also you want to make sure that okay, the legs are also moving in arcs. That's when they are moving from, that's front to back, front to back, front to back. So you want to make sure they're actually in arcs. So on understanding that, let us go to our view. Then we cancel the annotation. So then you go back to movement. So on getting that, now we can move back to our animation. Let's hide the camera. Sorry, the camera. So then we go back to us. Move to our that's. So here you want to make sure this leg is actually straight, looking at the reference. You don't stretch it too much. Then we can actually move the hip forward a little bit. Then this back leg, you want to rotate it. Make sure this pull vector is always at the front. So following the if there's a way for us to constrain this pull vector, I don't know if the control is there, but if there's a way for you to convert this pull vector so that it move relative to the word, so it will make your life easier. So you wouldn't be picking it every time. So the leg transformation doesn't actually change the position of the pole. So I don't think this rig can actually do that. So we still want to stretch this leg. Then on our x-axis we bend it. This is how you know it's x-axis. When it's red, it's x. When it's green, it's y-axis. And then when it's which color is this? Is this blue? So when it's this color, just know it's always the y-axis. So we want to move the leg, make sure it's straight. Then this one, we want to move it back. So just make sure your pose at the front. So and here also check the hips. Want to make sure that okay, your character is not falling. So we are actually doing this on that's cancel everything. Then press A and set a key on everything. Press your one. Then make sure this pull vector is at the front. Make sure the pull vector are at the front. So in doing that, we need to bend. We're not actually. Let us deal with the lower part of the body first. Let us bend this body a little bit. So you know, running and walking, they are almost the same thing. Such that okay, you're about to fall, then the front leg will support you. So it's like controlling your falling. So is this enough? Let's spend it a little bit. I think this should be cool now. So after doing this, let's press A on everything and just keyframe it. So then on doing this, want to press Shift D, you duplicate and move it to 19. Then go to your 10 since you're animating on nice. So we just copy this pose, then we right click and press flip the pose. So this is the flipping now. That's opposite at the center at frame 10, then the same at the contact, that's 1 and 10. So the next one I want to go for now is the down pose, which is this one. So the down pose signifies the hips actually move down more. You may not actually want to bend it, you just want to signify it down, because the down pose, those are one of the things that actually signify that your character actually has weight, not that it's floating. So you want to move it down, then this leg facing back, and maybe let's assume it's coming down. So you press that's your control 3 to check your side view. Then here you just cancel the rotation, then you make sure it's on the ground. We're using this, that's the y-axis as our ground, so make sure it's on the ground. So you can use your arrow key to switch, that's to switch between your frames. That's your front arrow, then your back arrow. So there's it now. So but at 3 we want our leg to move really backward, because if it doesn't, you will notice that your leg will be like will waggle somehow. So on doing this now, that's on doing the 3. Do we need to correct any more thing? I think that's okay. for the down part. So here, let's press A on everything. I like to press A so it doesn't things doesn't float. Maybe when you forget to actually set the key. So you copy this one. That's okay. You copy, pose, then that's one, two. That's on frame 12 now. That's um you paste flipped. So then next one now we'll do it on that's on our passing position. Now we'll do it at frame five. At frame five. So this leg going back, you want to make sure it's actually, you press Alt R, then make sure it's on the ground. So then since it's a passing pose, it's like the leg is pushing. So you raise let's use the foot roll, looking at this. Then for this front leg, we want to make sure that it's forward. Then looking at the toe, you can animate it also. So make sure your pull vectors are they are the front. You can see how the leg is moving. Make sure they are the front. So that's it for frame 5. So that's it. I think that was it for frame. Okay. And here the hips also forgotten. Want to make sure okay it's now going back up. That's this. And to make sure it's now going back up. So that's using your arrow keys. You can just move. So these are contacts down, then passing post going up again. Then at our passing position, which is this. So we want to make sure we do these key poses first. Then these are the main poses actually. That's your contact, and that's your frame 1, 10, and 12. Then these ones are just breakdowns to make sure that okay the positions are filled up, so and they are actually done well. So with this one now as our frame 5, looking at our reference now, we notice that okay the hips is actually going back up. Then okay that's frame 5. So I think we can actually do this on that's frame 6. Yeah, we can do it on okay no let's do it on frame 5. So on doing this now, let's expand our timeline. So on doing this, that's your frame 5 now. Let's select all, then you set a keyframe on it, then you copy this and move it. That's 2 frame later. You paste the flipped one. So for the that's the up pose now. So we want to make sure okay this leg is still down. That's you can just press Alt R. Then you want to make sure this leg is still down. Let's move this forward a little bit. And this one up. So we want to make sure it's up. Then once it's let's move it forward a little bit. Sorry. So let's move it forward. So that's undoing that now. So our up pose now, you notice this leg is let's take it up. let's take it back a little bit. So doing this now, the hip should move more up. So that's now let's press A. Then make sure we make sure this is at the front. Sorry. So move this at the front. So I'm doing this now. We can press A and make sure everything is keyed. So this one has a middle. Let's make sure that the frames at the middle actually working with these ones. So you can just move this back a little bit. Then I think this one is cool. Make sure there's no foot row. That's press Alt to cancel the foot row. Then go to that after the passing position, which is frame 5. Passing position, yeah, frame 5. So then after the up pose, we can do it on frame 8. Then we'll make sure our legs they're exactly like this. So looking at the reference now, which is this one, they set it on frame 6. So since the leg is up, you can whenever your leg is up, make sure you cancel the foot row. Then you can just take this one, then you can take it back more. Then you can actually bend the toe forward so it shows it's coming from there. Then remember to take your foot row and your pull vector to the front. So and again make sure the hips is already going down here. You can stretch this forward. So now press your A and remember let's put a marker, use M to put a marker on this one. That's the first frame, then this is the middle frame, and this is the contact again. You can rename this if you want. Then these are our down pose. Our down pose. Then these are passing position. These are up pose. Then the same for the other side also. These are contact. Down. Then the down. Then the passing position. Then that's passing position as after 2 frames. These will be our up position. Then the last one here. So for us to continue now, want to that's make sure every key let's press A and make sure everything is keyed. So because we want to copy everything to the other side. So after frame 14, which is 7 on this side, I think. Yeah, it should be 7. So is it 7? No, it's 5. So here now you want to copy this. That's copy this frame. That's paste flipped. Then go to next frame. Then copy. Then paste it here and paste flipped. So on playing our animation now, we can actually see it's looking almost like it. But seriously, there are still a lot of fixes we need to do here. So let's check the rotation of the hips now. So for the rotation of the hips, I'd like to also go to our graph editor. So let's go to our graph editor. I want to make sure that on the Y rotation we favor the front. That's the Y rotation. Now press A then F. And you can actually change your shortcut keys. That's using the edit and the preference. So I want to delete everything. So for the contact here, I want the Y axis. That's the hips now. Okay, sorry, that's for the hips here. So that's the Y axis. You want the hips to favor. That's to rotate to favor the front leg. So that's at frame 1 now. The first contact. Want to make sure we can see. I don't know, this rig doesn't support extending too much. You look at the glyphs there. So you can just rotate it. That's look at the hips here. So you can just rotate it for the hips to actually favor the front leg. So then you press A, then F to frame all. Then you copy this and paste it here. Then you paste the inverse here. That's just copy and paste it, the keyframe here. Then you can right click. Then you go to mirror. Then mirror value over mirror. It will actually make it go take it to the opposite. So we can now add keyframes here, not on our channel. That's just on this channel. Then we want to make sure we favor the one at the contact for this one also. So we favor the down one. So you can see it's looking okay. So for the Y, that's checking the X location of this. Press A and then F. So we are doing this in such a way that okay, when the leg is at this side, it will actually move this to this side a little bit, not too much. So it will move it to this side a little bit. So let's cancel that's these ones. So move it down, move it up. So in case you don't want the location, you can just lock, then just take it out from this place. But I think it will look good for it to be there. So that's after doing this now. We should have one again. Do we need? So okay, now the hips that's rotate Y, the Y rotation. So when this leg is on the passing, where's our passing position? I think our frame 5. That's our passing position. So you want to make sure when this leg is up, the leg down, this place should actually be the highest. So should we use that's the hip? Yeah, I think we can actually use this. So we'll go to that's our hip position. Go to that's your Y and your Z rotation. So A to frame all. So we can see there is actually a key on this place, but let's go back to 0. Sorry. So I want it to be at 0, copy, then paste. So then just let's take everything, delete. Then for this one also delete. Then go to that's the first, that's the passing position. Want the hips to be highest at this point. So we take it. We don't want to do it too much. So we take it. We rotate the hips. So if it's too much, we can actually turn it down. So press A, then F. Then want to do the same also. That's at this passing position as frame 5. As a frame 5, that should be 14. So you paste it here. That's control. Sorry, that's copy. Then you paste. So, but here we want it to be inverse because the other side of the leg is actually touching the ground. So you mirror by value, then you take it to the opposite side. Then we can actually shift this to favor anyone we want. So looking at the hips now, I think it's too much. So let's press that's A. Here, then you press your S, then you scale on the Y axis. So I think it's okay like that. So you scale on the Y axis. So first, let us start fixing the after on including these rotations. Let us now start fixing the that's the the master, that's the master ifs control here. So let us move. We did not translate there, we did translate X. So A, then frame hall. So this is not looking good. So let's, I think it's actually favoring these already. So I don't think we need to, let's just adjust this a little bit, press G, then move it forward. So we can see we are running lesser than this 24 frames per second. My computer can't actually undo the rig. So so then after this, uh, did you do, yeah, the Y translation? Press A and frame hall. So check this out. That's straight. Do it at passing, that's it. Should this one, whenever you want to adjust anything on your graph editor, make sure you're actually viewing what it's doing on the viewport. So okay, it's taking it up, but according to our reference, it's moving. It's okay. It's going. Is it going up? Yeah, I think it's going up. You can just take this up more. Then let's do the same on this leg here and push it up. So let's step through making sure we did not. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think we did a mistake on one of the frames here. Maybe we forgot to actually do the inverse. So the leg is continuous. That's down. Yeah, I think there's a mistake here. So press A. So cancel everything here. So that's frame 14. Which one should be on frame 14? That's after the contact, and that's 3, 4. Contact 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's pasting inverse. So step through the frames. Yeah, I think it's working the way it should now. So I don't know where we did that mistake. So let's go back to our graph editor. That's one thing about copying keyframes. So I think we're still fixing the so okay, as we were actually fixing this, so we can see it's like looking the same. So we can take this up. So so I'm fixing this now. We can check whether I think we did anything on the Y. That's the Z location. So press A then F. I don't think we did anything on that. So go to X, did we? No, we did not. No, we did not. We only repeated it forward just once. So for the Y, did we? No. So I think that's all for this one. So let's check the hits. So A then F. We only did we only animated our Y and Z rotation. So check our Y. The curve is looking good. And then check our that's Y rotation, press A and then F. So I think it's looking good. So we can just select all. That's here. So go to your view. and make sure these are not selected. So we'll select all the keyframe, all the handles and cuffs. So that's A. So then we press that Shift E. Now we want to make everything cyclic. So be able to repeat it. So you can even look at let's make sure we go back to only these are selected. So press AF. So we want to make sure, always make sure these lines are actually continuous. Looking at this now, we can see it's continuous. Then check your ifs also, press A and F. So let's check this. We can see it's breaking us. Check our Z. That's and looking at this now, you can see we need to make sure, okay, these ones are actually continuous, that it's not breaking. So I think it's looking better now. So these other one, I think the Y, I think it's continuous. So I'm doing this now. Let's move to the leg. We can actually fix just one of the legs. Then on fixing it, then we'll copy it to the other leg. So let's fix just this one. I will not be able to fix the other one, but you can just copy it over. So on copying this one now, on fixing this one now. So let's use that's our motion part. So you want to make sure all these lines are actually continuous, not breaking. Look at this now. So that's 12. Then this wanted to move down. So 14, you can bring it back more. Then this 16. So if you don't like this movement, maybe you can take this back a little bit. Then 14 also. So let's check it now. So for this leg now, we want to make sure, okay, we take this backward, because if on hitting the ground, that's the leg hitting the ground. Yeah. Okay, let me open another. That's vertical horizontal. Sorry, no, vertical. So we want to make sure, okay, yeah, listen. So if you play this now, you can see the leg is like it's not going well. So here now, we want to, a way to fix that is on it. Check this now. That's when it's bending. It seems as if it's like popping somehow. So this frame 2 now will take it backward. Frame 3. So we can see it's actually looking better. So in case we still need to fix, that's this one. You can take it backward. One more up. And 15. You take it backward, up. And the same do for this. Just make sure everything is moving in arc. So and again, this frame 7, we can even move it up. Want it to suppress theory, so that the gap between that's frame 8 and 7 won't be too much. So sorry, yes, just the Y. We can see it's looking better now. So let's make sure also the pull vector here is not. Let's make sure the pull vector is working fine. So let's just step through the frames. That's fine. Like here, we can take it out a little bit. So looking at this leg now, let's step back again. Which one is off? This one, I think it's off. Let's bring it out a little bit. This one too, and take it out. So I think this one is. So I think this leg is looking okay compared to the other one. We just try to look at the two legs. You can see this one is actually looking okay. So I think we should be done with. I still feel there's something off somewhere. Let's take this in. So if this one would have been constrained to the word now, we wouldn't have any problem with this one. I think this one is too thin. Okay, I think it's looking better. So I think it's looking better. Let's check the motion part again. So even this one, we can still take this leg back, then sorry, Control Z, move it back, back. Forward. So you can just go to our graph editor, check the translate Y, press A, then F the frame. We can just take away one of these off, then we take it to the side. So I still feel this leg is not working well. So I think one of the way we can actually fix that, make sure after the first frame, that's at second frame here, this leg is already, that's on the ground. That's press Alt R, press Shift 3 to make sure it's actually it's actually on the ground. So on doing that, make sure on that's up to that. Let us still adjust the spacing. I still feel this leg is not doing very well. It's like getting to the ground faster. So let us go to frame 12. Let's take this back. Even this, let's paste this. Let's make sure the spaces are not together clumsy like that. So here we'll move it back, move it back, move it back, then move it back. Then frame 18 also, let's take it back a little bit. So let's check it out now. So I think, yeah, I think it's much better now compared to this leg that's misbehaving. So I think it's much better now. And that's looking at it from the side view, and also that's the front view. I think this one is better now. So, but if we still feel that the back leg is speeding up too much, let's go to 7. Then you take this up a little bit just to to check up the spacing. So take this up also. So I think it's better now. So we can adjust if we feel this bend is. So this is not running at 24 frames per second. This might simplify on. Yeah, I think it's on. Yeah, it's on. I don't know why it's running at very low frame like this. So so for this now, we can now copy. So looking at the leg, okay. Looking at the leg, do we still need to adjust it? I think it's better now. I think it's okay. So with this now, we can now just select every one of these. That's cancel the clear the, and just cancel everything. Press A and X to delete. So you can just add this to a selection. Like in case you don't know a selection selector, I have a video on that. So go to our first frame, then you copy, then you paste flip. So it automatically take you to the lower leg. This one also copy, then you paste flip. We do the same till you finish. As copy, paste flip. So on doing this now, you notice the legs, they are doing the same thing. So let us so for this one now, you copy this, let's press Shift G, and let's Shift D, then you move everything here, then you delete everything from this place, then you move this to here, then you move this to here, then I think our copying now is complete. So I think we're actually done for the lower part of the leg. Now, since it's looking okay, you can actually check your work now. So in our next tutorial, we'll be moving to the upper part of the body as we'll try to animate the upper part of the body.